Welcome back, guys, and I wanted to thank you for joining me today. We have two special rifles today to review for you guys. This is the Slavia 631, or CZ Slavia 631, made in the Czech Republic by, you guessed it, CZ. They do not import these rifles anymore, but as you can see, I managed to get my hands on a couple, and I really like them. A lot of people are really fanatical about these rifles, especially now that they don't import them anymore. You can still get them over in the UK and overseas in Europe, I believe, but in the US they have ceased their importation of them. I wanted to talk a little bit about functionality of the gun. Obviously, as you can see, it's a really long rifle. It's a 17.5-inch barrel, as you can see from the front to the breech block. A pretty long barrel for a Springer, but then again, you have your high-powered Gamos and a lot of your Crossmans that have even longer barrels than this. But I think there's just something about the way the gun looks that just makes this barrel seem extraordinarily long. But that's not a bad thing. These guns are phenomenally accurate in the right hands, and I really like them. This one I have kind of tweaked a little bit. I removed the front sight, the rear sight here in favor of this is a Williams peep sight. I don't know why, but there's something about this rifle that made me want to shoot it with a peep sight and not a scope. It performs really well with the peep. I have the other version I have here is scoped, and it performs equally well in their regards. Obviously, you can't shoot as far with the peep sight, but I really like the setup. It's very simple. But a little bit about the gun. The stock is I'm not sure what the wood is. It looks like it beech. But starting at the back here, you have a plastic buttstock, end piece here. There's not a whole lot of recoil with these rifles, as they're lower powered Springer shooting in the 700 foot per second range. So it's not like you have a whole lot of recoil to contest with. They are a bit twangy, though, I will say that. But as you see, slightly raised cheek piece here. The grip is something I wanted to talk about because it does probably look a tad short, but it actually fits around the hand really well, and I will show you that. A very comfortable rifle to shoot. Coming in here on the stock, you have a black and checkered area, and I'll show you the stock on the other one I have as well. Both are the same. This is the Lux version, which is deluxe, but the stocks were a little bit nicer on these models. The Slavia 634 had a little bit plainer stock, and just, I don't know, this one's a little more eye-catching to me. One thing I do like about this stock is the flat bottom here. I will show you. It rests very well on your hand in whatever position you prefer for your artillery hold, which is nice, because like I said, this Springer, while it doesn't recoil, it does twang a little bit and twist, but still very nice. I really like that. I'm not a huge fan of round bottom stocks because you can't, it's kind of a hassle to bench rest them and do a bunch of other things with them. But yeah, so about that. Okay, moving on. Here in the rear, we have the safety. I'll bring it in a little bit. Just kind of pops out when you cock the rifle and then just presses back in. It is resettable, which I really like. I'm a big fan of resettable automatic safeties. If you're going to have it, you might as well be able to, put it on safe and take it off safe at your own will. Trigger down here. This gun is not cocked or anything, I promise you. But I'll put on the safety just for effect. The trigger, it's a very thin blade, but this particular one pulls really well. It gives you a nice defined stop right before it releases, which I like. Very clear 2 stages. You're probably wondering, I guess, a little bit what this piece is right here. This is actually a kind of like on an underlever. You have a little button. This is like your cocking release. So I'll show you. So what you would do is you can't just pull the barrel down on this gun. You have to actually push this forward. You saw that go forward, and now I can break the barrel open. As you can see, the barrel is broken open, and now I can bring it down, do whatever I want to do with it. I'll put it back up and show you guys again. Just push forward and then bring it down. So cocking effort on these rifles is not a whole lot, especially with the long barrel. It does give you quite a bit to pull on to bring it down. Not too bad at all. Some other things I wanted to talk about with this. The dovetail that's machined in is not 11 millimeters like most rifles are. This is a 14 millimeter rail. Now what that means for if you want to scope it, you're going to have to buy special rings. And that is where the second model comes in that I have to show you guys. Obviously this one's going to look a heck of a lot different. This is a Rust Best tuned and chopped barreled 631 Lux as well. This one has had a few things done to it, but where I was on the scope rings at least, these are 14 millimeter scope rings, so the base here is a little bit wider, and these are BKL rings, so they're self-tightening and they're also self-centering, which is nice. You don't have to worry about them tilting to one side or another. BKL makes probably the best rings in the game right now, or best mounts I should say in the game. So if you're willing to spend a little bit of extra money and have that security and knowing your scope's not going to move, definitely go for the BKL rings. Anyway, so they're 14 millimeter rings, a little bit of an oddity. Not a whole lot of people make them, but not hard to come by. You know, Pyramid Air and all your major dealers have them. So as you can see, this one is scoped. A little bit about this rifle. I believe I said the barrel on the stock version is 17.5 inches. This is a 10-inch barrel, so Rust Best took 7.5 inches off. Sorry, I had to think about my math there real quick. This is actually the tuning receipt from Russ, and I'll read off a little bit what he did for it, or to it. He put in a precision machine front and rear guide, so that goes inside of your spring so it doesn't wobble around. Generally, they make them out of Delrin. Let's see, what else do we have? He custom made a piston seal, lubed it, obviously, and now to some of the custom work. The barrel, he cut and re-crowned the barrel. He put this special brake on it. It's a VAC style brake. I'm not quite sure what that means, to be honest with you, but whatever. If you haven't noticed already, this trigger has a gold trigger shoe on it. Again, this rifle is safe, but I'll put this safety on anyway. As you can see, this has a gold piece in here on the trigger. There you go, and it's gives your finger a little bit more to pull on. What else do we have? He stoned and polished all the trigger sears, which just makes it a little bit smoother to pull. And yeah, that's about all he did to this rifle. But obviously, cocking effort, I'd put it, right in there, around 20 to 25 pounds. It's on the heavy side for a low-powered Springer. So compared to like an HW30, it's a little bit heavier than that. But that's all because of the shorter barrel. But then again, you're not having to reach as far and bring it down. So, depending on what you like, I suppose. Let's see, I want to talk about a little bit of the difference I've noticed between the longer barrel and the shorter barrel. They're both, the accuracy is about the same with the scope and without and all that. But one of the things I have noticed is the longer barreled version seems to be a little less pellet particulate. On top here is a Hammers 3-9x32. Hammers is a kind of an off-brand name, but mil-dot scope, really nice scope. It's held up very well on this gun. I put it in with the Leapers and the center point scope, so in and around that quality, and the glass is about the same as those as well. Alright, so let us get to, I just wanted to show you guys how these handle. So as you can see, I talked about the flat bottom stock, and I really like that. Really nice, really easy to hold on and get your artillery hold. As you can see, just pretty easy to, it's just a really light gun and very easy to hold. Fits most people pretty well. I think it's just kind of the obscurity of the long barrel with the odd looking stock, I think, kind of pushes some people away. But Yeah, so let's get into some shooting here. All right, we're gonna be shooting the JSB 8.4 grain exacts. And this target right here. So we're gonna shoot the short barreled version at that distance, or at this top target right here, and then we're gonna shoot the stock one down here. So I'm gonna go set up about 10 yards away and get to shooting. Alright, I'm only going to do 3-shot groups here. The reason I shot 4 there is because I pulled that third shot there. But as you can see, this is a 1/2-inch circle right here, and all 3 pellets fitting in there real nice. Like I said, I pulled this one. That was all me. Had nothing to do with the rifle. So now we're going to go shoot the untuned stock barrel length version, and with the peep sights, so keep that in mind, and we're gonna see what we get. Alright, so there's that last target we just shot, and that's with peep sights. Not too bad. There's 1, 2, and 3 pellets right there. Here's a penny. So about the size of a penny. All 3 of those shots in there, and that's again with peep sights. Not my best shooting, and I probably should have sighted the peep in for this particular distance, but I'm working with just a simple post right now through that peep sight, and I would definitely like to upgrade to a nice insert, so I'm working on that. But I think that's a pretty decent example of what this rifle can do at 10 yards with a peep sight or open sights even. So yeah, let's wrap it up.